Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time has officially come. It is time to kick off the Indycar series here in the Anti-Stall Racing League. This is season number 1, round number 1 in this series. I am joined by my co-host, in the meantime, Gerald. And Gerald, this is the first race of the season. We had Media Day last week, but this is the time where everything counts. This is where the points start to count. This is where the drivers are really going to start feeling the pressure here in round number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're currently 60 seconds until qualifying starts. These guys have been practicing, getting every little last ounce of practice on this track in the last hour. We've seen lots and lots of interesting manoeuvres and quite a few little mess-ups, but it seems to be towards the end of practice now that everybody is getting down and comfortable with the cars on the track.
Now, I wasn't around for a media day, almost the warm-up race for this round number 1 race. I heard it was a bit crazy on the track, though. What are some of the things that the folks should watch out for here tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely that turn one. Turn one causes all the issues here. It's difficult to spot where you need to brake and turn in. Particularly, we noticed that in the IMSA League as well last Friday. Turn one caused issues with cars running into each other if they were side by side, or even in the braking zone running into each other. So I think we might find that tonight as well. But we'll keep an eye on it, and we do have our lovely team of stewards in the stewarding room. That's George, Niels and Sebastian in the stewarding room tonight, who will be keeping an eye on absolutely everything that happens on track. And just as I say that, qualifying begins.
There we go. It is time to set the grid here in round number 1, season number 1 of the IndyCar series here. They're getting ready to run a total of 14 turns here tonight, 9 right, 6 left. We're going to run about 2.6 miles around this Indy road course, 60 laps in total. Pit lane speed is going to be around 89 kilometers there and 55 miles per hour for those Americans across the pond here. And I got to say, I'm used to calling the stock cars, I'll be honest with you, but I am a huge fan of open-wheel racing, F1, Indy cars, even modifieds here in America. I just love the lightness, the speed of these cars. And the one thing that kind of blows me away here as we're taking a look at qualifying here is the driver skill you have to have for these type of vehicles. You can't just beat and bang them as the stock cars here in America. You really have to have skill around the corners. You have to pinpoint your moves. You have to take your time, and patience is a virtue in these race cars.
Yeah, absolutely. They're known as a little bit more difficult to race than the F1 cars. Obviously, that's the car we can compare them to, as they are the only sort of car in the open wheel league that they would be similar to. These things don't have power steering, and they've got very little in terms of electronic control or assists. So people can look at IndyCar and you can kind of think of it as the absolute top end of raw racing.
Yeah, taking a look here as we're trying to set the grid here. A little mistake there on the corner. Going to take the easy way around that corner there. They're going to cut it through there. We're watching qualifying here. For the folks that are unfamiliar with how this qualifying format is set, of course, it's going to be different from the oval tracks of the road course. If you want to kind of break down what everybody's watching here in these open qualifying runs.
Yeah, sure. So on screen you see, the names of the drivers who are currently on a qualifying lap. Underneath that, you've got some bars, and iRacing has calculated on this track we've got 4 sectors. Now, iRacing does the sectors a bit weirdly. It's calculated by the amount of distance in the track. So on some tracks, they have a different amount of sectors than what you see in real life. However, if you see a green, it means it is that driver's personal best time in that sector. If you see a yellow, it means it's slower. And if you see a purple, it means that they are the fastest in that sector.
Alrighty, as we're taking a look here. 3 cars currently on the track right now. See the time now right there. 2 drivers taking the time. And, as I mentioned, I missed media day here, so I didn't get to see who's going to be dominant here at the Indy Road Course. Who really stands out here tonight in this race that the folks really watch out for?
In practice, it was the Kevins. We do have multiple Kevins here today.
Kevins.
Yes, who were doing particularly well. So we should look out for, and this isn't because I'm biased, but we should look out for Kevin Stam. Yes, he owns Anti-Stall Racing. Yes, he's racing tonight. But he was doing quite well in practice, even though he isn't the highest iRating guy here. So that would be very interesting to see where he comes tonight. Also, Kevin Birrell, who does have an astounding iRating of 5.6 thousand. So he's meant to be one of the top ones tonight as well.
Watch out for the Kevins here tonight. Definitely no home cooking there for your team driver, of course.
Who else have we got in this list? Oyston, on track there, on screen. He is... he did remarkably well in the F1 series that we ran last season. I would definitely keep an eye on him. He's an absolute beast when it comes to open wheel cars. So, yeah, looking forward to see what he puts down on track.
See, right now, these times are getting faster and faster with these next set of drivers that are hitting the course here. See Alex Richardson right there on your screen. See Robin also. See a few of these drivers that are really trying to lay down that time to take this starting spot on that grid. And with these type of race cars, you really want to start, I mean, inside, in my opinion, maybe inside the top 5, top 8. If you're going to have to work your way up that grid, it's going to make this race a whole lot more difficult throughout.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the great thing about IndyCar as well, is all these cars are identical, other than setup, meaning that everybody does have an equal chance, unlike in the GT3s, where some cars will be quicker down the straight, or some cars will be better on the curbs, or some better at turning. All these cars are identical, apart from the setup that the drivers choose to put them on themselves.
Yeah, definitely. As you see right now, we're still trying to set this grid for round number 1. This is season number 1 here. The drivers had a chance at Media Day last week to get a feel. Oh, got a little sideways there on the corner. Just trying to lay down a hot time there. And we're seeing Kevin Stam right there. One of the Kevins you mentioned. We are seeing that purple down on the screen. Trying to lay down a time right now to overtake that top position on that grid. Right now, it looks like that top speed, if I'm seeing it correctly at the top. Seeing a few drivers that have already out on their laps right now. But that, as you just mentioned, the Kevins are going to try to take over here at the Indianapolis road course.
We do currently have Hakon there at the top with 1 minute 10.8, 2 tenths away from the next quickest car. Hakon, again, fantastic driver, did amazingly in our F1 series. And Kevin comes across the line now as well.
Going to go ahead and park that car after laying down that lap there. What an impressive performance that was, laying down that time right there. Almost got it by a full second there at the top of the grid. See, right now there's only a few more drivers to take the track here. Taking a look at Aiden Young there and seeing what he can lay down here. It looks like as the last wave of drivers that have hit the course here have faster lap times. Are you going to see that throughout tonight's race as it ticks down, the laps tick down? Are you going to start to see those lap times go up, or is it going to go the other way where it's a little bit more wear on these race cars? You know, I listened to the driver meeting there. We have one fast repair, and one thing that was emphasized is that, say, if you have a bad first couple laps, the race is not over for you.
Yeah, I think a race of this length, even though it's not, one of the hugest races we do, I do think that if you do have a mistake on the first couple laps, keep it up. You still might end up with a decent position. There's a lot of positions that can score points. So definitely don't drop out just because you spun in the first corner or something like that.
Right, and with these race cars, how intricate they are, there are bound to be a few mistakes there on the corners, bound to wheel lock just a little bit, get a little sideways, have to check up, spin that tail just a little bit on the corners. Taking a look right now at Alex Richardson's going to take the track now and see what he can lay down here on the track. But right now, it's going to be hard to knock off Hakon right at the top there. By a full second, he's going to take the top of that grid. So for these drivers that are coming out to lay their laps down here, just this looks like almost the last wave of drivers that are going to come out here. It's going to be tough to knock off that qualifying time at a 1:10.
Yeah, 100%. That's a really crazy time, I think. Yeah, I mean, we've got 11 minutes, nearly 12 minutes of qualifying remaining. We might see someone come in, right at the end, try and smash that. But it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, as we're seeing another wave of drivers hit the track right now, Hakon's actually back out on the track and see if he can make the best of that time. Maybe best that 110 at the top. Looks like he's not going to do it so far right now as we're taking a look at these zones here. And at Indy road course here, it's really going to be coming off that last corner, hitting that straight. Where are we going to see, as we're taking a look at qualifying here, as just mentioned, we've got about 11 minutes to go. Where on this course are we going to see the most passing at? Because you see a few of these corners a little bit more tight. You see right there on the last corner, you hit that straightaway, you're going to have that opportunity to pass right there. But where are we going to see the most action at here at this road course tonight?
I think my previous answer again, turn 1 is a huge place for it because you've just come off that massive straight. And it is where we saw a lot of those overtakes on the IMSA night as well. Of course, this is the new layout of Indianapolis as well. So, a lot of these drivers might not have been as used to it as they were to the old Indianapolis layout as well, including ourselves watching it. So it's a bit of a new territory for us at the minute.
It really is. Looking at that track layout there, as you just mentioned, corner number 1, you're going to come off that fast straightaway down into the corner. You're going to have to check up. You're going to have to slow way down. You're going to have to shift way down as well. Going to go into a tight corner into 2. Going to whip around into corner number 3 and 4. A little bit more of a wide corner there. Heading into 5, that's one of those tight corners that we all love on those road courses. But then 6 all the way down to 7, that's another straight. These drivers are going to have opportunities to pass one another. Then, though, you're going to hit about a 90-degree turn into 7. So, again, you have to shift down, check down a lot coming off that long straight. Down into 8, 9, a little bit more wide down there. And then a wide corner into 10. You're going to whip all the way around into 11, 12. Another 90-degree at 12. So it's going to get really dicey there in these 90-degree corners because you're going to build up a lot of speed heading into those 90 degrees.
Yeah, there was that, the second straight, so the back straight, I believe Americans call it, into that 90-degree corner after the back straight is a huge place as well. Anything after a big straight always has nice... Ooh, there's Kevin going round. Yeah, anything after a long straight is always a good overtaking opportunity because you've got the slipstream. The slipstream is so powerful in these cars.
Oh, yeah. And I, like I said, I'm used to calling the stock cars, or I do a little bit of IndyCar commentating as well. But these cars, I love them. I wouldn't really want to race them just because of how fast and how light they are, but just the intricateness and the speed that these cars hit. And the fact that these drivers, it's stock car racing is one thing. You go left, sometimes you go right in those road courses. But with these IndyCar, these drivers have to go through race in and race out. With the shifting, you have to pinpoint everything. You have to make sure your car is right. Any little damage too, you bend that front wing just a little bit, maybe the back wing as well. Make any little contact, it's going to affect you significantly throughout the race.
Yeah, absolutely. The same problem in all open wheelers. Delicate parts on them. The front wing, you take off an end plate and you've completely ruined some of your turning in ability. However, IndyCars, notorious for going wheel to wheel, having a bit of bumping. It's fantastic to watch, and I hope we do get some guys going 4 wide down the main straight like we saw in the IMSA series. It'd be absolutely great for a screenshot, I think.
No, really. We're not biased up here or anything, everybody, but we love to see 4 wides going down these straights. And I think so here tonight, being as round 1, race 1, I think we're going to see a lot of drivers really go all out here tonight. Try to really make themselves known here, as this is season 1, round 1. You kind of want to set yourself apart from the rest of the field. As mentioned, we're going to hit a couple oval courses, mainly road courses here in this series. So you want to really start off your season on a strong mark. As we're taking a look at Leon here, there's a few other drivers still out on the track here in qualifying. Nobody has yet to knock off the top of the grid right now, which is a 110 on that grid, which is about a second faster than second place. So if you can hold that pace throughout tonight's race.
If you reread that, someone has beaten it. It was 110.9 previously. It's now 110.5. So P1, P2 are both in the 110s. Yeah, so
Oh my goodness.
half a second away now with Kevin in third. Currently on screen, Kevin, that is.
That is super close here. Oh my goodness, this race is going to be fantastic once we grid up here. Running these speeds here and how tight these drivers are running, this thing is going to get crazy from the jump.
We just got a message from Race Control there, top of the screen. Incident involving car number 427. And they're starting from the pit lane due to an unsafe pit exit. Sounds particularly harsh, but, you know, the Race Control guys see everything, so they know exactly the right thing to do. So car number 427, let me check who that is really quick. That is Aiden Young.
Man. Qualifying 2, you don't want to see that already, as a few of these drivers are still trying to set themselves in the grid here. Counting down to the end of qualifying. You see right now they're trying to best those speeds, but man, we got a 110.5 at the top of the grid. We got a 110, I believe that's a 110.9 at the top there. Man, what qualifying run so far. And I think these drivers are ready. As mentioned, we ran media day last week. The drivers got a good taste of the course. You know, we didn't have stewards up in the booth to kind of watch things throughout the race. But I think tonight, seeing as though we got a good practice session in, everybody's ready to rock and roll here. They want to get a good debut of these race cars. It's going to be a long season. We got about 10 races here in this season. You know, a lot on the line though. Jared, what are they racing for here in this season?
Oh, glad you asked that. So there is a prize pool to this series, and I can get that information up right now. So everyone who joined the series will have had to pay an entry fee, of course. You know, it's iRacing. It costs quite a bit to run, so everyone has paid an entry fee. But there's a big benefit to that, in that from first place to 7th place, all get a cash prize at the end. So 1st to 7th, which I believe is one of the biggest amount of places in any racing league where you can win a cash prize.
Ooh, that's even better when you race for cash and iRacing. Doesn't get any better than that.
I think currently, if we have all 33 entries, first place is currently standing at €50 prize.
Ooh, there we go.
That then trickles all the way down to 7th place, who wins a €10 prize.
Hey, that's still good for a Monday night racing in there. If you come home on the top of that grid here tonight, you're going to walk away with a little bit of euros in your pocket, ready to rock and roll, hit the town, or you just keep it in your pocket for the weekend there, seeing as though it's Monday night. We're not really going out too crazy here during the week. But right now, it's still heck on up at the top of the grid right up there. You see right now there's a few other drivers that are still trying to make the best of their grid position here, going down the Indianapolis road course here, counting down to kick off the season here in anti-style racing. It's the Indycar series here, and I believe we're starting off the season for everybody right now, right?
No, IMSA series was last Friday, so the weeks are slightly offset weirdly. But we started on Friday with the IMSA series, which again was on this track. So, you know, we've kind of stayed in the same place, and it kind of feels like both of these races have started the entire thing off because we've stayed here.
Yeah. Good debut track, that's for sure. You see Hakon's still out on the track there, trying to make it even better at the top of that grid right now. You see if he can best that time. Looks like he's still...
We do have a warning at the top there, sorry, for race control. A warning for car 22 for impeding during qualifying. Car 22, let me look at my data here, is Alex Richardson on screen now. Obviously impeded another car for a moment on track. Obviously, I know you were in the briefing, so you would have heard how serious they are about those sort of things.
Yeah. The biggest emphasis was just try not to get a penalty. I mean, that's the biggest thing here tonight, is just to stay safe on the course. Because it's harsh, you know, you're going to have to sit on the pits, and on a course like this, you know, any time that you're going to have to sit on the pits, watch the other drivers hit that course, it's really going to be hard to trace anybody down if you have to endure a pit road penalty there. It's just the biggest emphasis is just race clean, keep it clean on the track. know your other drivers, know where they're at here on the course tonight, and just try your best. That's the biggest thing. Try your best, race clean. Just try not to impede anybody, as we just had an impeding penalty here in qualifying. It's a serious infraction here, and I like that sort of thing there, where it keeps the drivers almost in check. There's a lot of sanctions around clean driving, but fun driving at the same time.
Yeah, so we're seeing currently as well that there's a bit of a fight going on here for the top three. Both Benoit and Kevin are swapping places in the 1 minute 10 area. We see Kevin cutting the grass there, maybe letting someone pass, or maybe trying to get to the finish line so he can start his next lap within the allotted time, because there is only 1 minute 15 left until the end of session. He's teleporting back to pit, so he likely won't be able to come out for another one. He will have to be very, very quick if he wants to.
You got about a minute left in qualifying for those people watching that were interested in seeing how much long we have left in the Q session here. But right now, I think you're about spot on there. We got two Kevins inside the top 5 right now. They're really, as you said, flip-flopping positions there. We got one in third, one in fourth. Kevin Sum's trying to take that second place position there to start off this race here tonight, but nobody's been able to knock off Hackham up at the top, racing a 1:10.5. What's his qualifying run so far?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty mad qualifying sheet, to be honest. The top 3 all in the 10s, and from P4 all the way down to P19. All within a second of each other.
Oh, yeah. It's very tight right now. If reading down that grid, it's 111, all the way down into about the 21st position. So not much separates the top 20 guys here on the track. Taking a look at these last couple of drivers that are going to hit the course here, try to just squeeze out just a little bit of a better time here as we round out this qualifying session here. A few of these drivers just trying to best their spot on that grid. We're taking a look at a few of these drivers here on your screen, see what they can do. Looks like a few of the drivers are just going to go ahead and park it and head off here. But right now, looking at Frankly right now, taking the course, going to see if he can best his time here.
And the checkered flag has been waved, so everybody has got 1 minute 10 to finish up what they're doing. If they're on a lap, this will be their last lap.
And you see, actually, that was a good run right there. Actually just jumped up the grid there with that run. Just ran his fastest time right there. Out of a 1:11, jumped all the way inside the top 10. So made the best out of that last run.
And just in time, I think we've just received a Biggles in the commentator's booth. He just arrived, probably with his breakfast, and he's going to join us now for the race, the first race, in fact, of the Indycar series this season.
Absolutely, just in time, of course. And what is with this cheating IndyCar circuit, my friend? There is no left and rights. This is a super speedway. This is the classic. The Indy 500's here. You can't be going in the inside around like that. Anyway, it's going to be fun, of course. Why not? And somehow, I think we're going to have 24 of these gladiators try to survive Indianapolis. Hello, welcome.
Yes, sir, indeed. It's going to be a race of survival here tonight at the road course with only one fast repair, but Biggles, I'll throw it on to you for that starting grid.
Yeah.
Go ahead for a second, my friend, as I'm still getting my tickets. They're ready.
You know what, I'll take this one.
If you can, please.
I'll take this one, don't worry. So in P1, we got Hakon Grebstad. You know, he's been a long-time ASR guy now, raced in our previous season. Looking forward to seeing him on track. P2 is Benoit Favre. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I think I did. I think you're new to ASR, so again, it's going to be a bit of a shake-up for the regulars. Kevin Stam in P3, who is our glorious leader at Andestal Racing. Kevin Birrell, P4. Paolo Lopez just behind in P5, another regular. Danito Piazza in P6. Doriano Ricciuti in P7. Oystein Herfjord in P8. And Frankie Franchita in P9. Aidan Young, P10, and Andy Tapman in P11. P12 is Hans Schlogel, and then P13, Sylvie Lazar. P14, Liam Kerr, and P15, Leon Elwood. P16, Zach Amador, and P17, Kevin Simiand. P18 is Robin Duhamel. And I'll quickly switch the page. There we go. P19, Alex Richardson. P20 is Alaric van den Bos. P21 is Benny Fage. P22, Stefan Homan. And P23, Matteo Lemaire. P24, Ethan Ridgway. Now, P25 there isn't actually a P25. Sebastian is our glorious safety car driver who will be driving, hopefully we don't see it, but he will be driving the Chevrolet Corvette C8.
Not the Mercedes safety car that we had in Formula 1 last season, but we'll still have that lovely ACASR livery.
It will,
Not
it
quite
will.
sure.
Yes, we have designed a new one. We thought we'd keep it a bit more American for the IndyCars and get a Corvette out on it.
Why not, my friend? Everything's bigger and better in America, you know that for a fact. Even the internet works better than the UK. We won't talk about that. But we will talk about 50% race, you said. So 25%, 25 laps?
Nope, that is incorrect.
Race?
That is incorrect.
It's incorrect?
Yep, that's my bad. My apologies.
That's all right. Hey, there's one important thing you need to worry about with this grid. Very much one important thing. There's a guy called Liam Kerr, and he's Australian, so look out for him.
Yeah,
Sorry, other drivers, I love you all, but the Aussie's the best. Sorry. No favoritism here. Go ahead, mate.
No, yeah. Joe was just telling me about the Kevins as well. Kevins we should watch out for, and I think he has a little home cooking too. One of the Kevins is racing at anti-style racing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want, I can drive the pace car around, but yeah. I don't know if you want to put that in my hands. Hello out there. Basanity. Yeah, some familiar names that we had in the F1 last season, of course, but now it's good to see more of a grid and more people to gamble on. You know, the cars are a little bit slower, but certainly very, very tricky to handle and mastermind. These cars are. I cast along with a Indycar engineer that actually engineers for real Indy cars, and he even struggles driving these cars around, and he knows how to set them up. So good luck to these gladiators to see if they get it done.
Sure. Actually, we were just talking about that during qualifying too. That's the thing that I love the most about it. As being an American, you know, I'm used to the stock cars beating, banging around the track, but I have an affinity for these open wheel race cars because of the driver skill that it takes to race these around these courses. Even on the super speedways where you see these open wheels take the course as well, it's very intricate. You have to wait your time, and patience is a virtue inside these race cars.
It is. It's so much fun, but the bump drafting and all that sort of jazz. This is also the thing too. If you are obviously you're not new to IndyCar, my friend. Being from the United States of America, I'm from the neck of the woods at the moment too, where I'm living, and getting heavily more involved into IndyCar. Is that you can't really afford to pit alone as well.
No.
So when you get your pit stops, you have to do it in packs and pairs, because if you get stuck out there breaking that draft all by yourself, all of a sudden, doesn't matter how quick you are, there's a little thing called wind that's going to be against you.
Oh, definitely. You hop on that radio and you ask somebody if they want to be friends, because you cannot go solo down pit road here in these Indy cars. You have to try to link up with somebody throughout the race here. Whether or not you want to link up with them at the end of the race, that's up to you, but it's definitely finding a pair to pit during this race. And we're talking about the corners here. What's going to be so difficult for these drivers here in these Indy cars? You know, we're looking at a few of the 90-degree corners, those long straights as well. What's going to be the most difficult aspect of this race here tonight, you think?
Oh, that's you see, I'm not. I got to try to familiarize myself with the inner circuit, of course, the road circuit of it, because I'm just used to the four corners naturally.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't really answer that question, mate, until we get underway a little bit. Then I probably can tell you.
That's okay. Things are about to get on and popping here in the anti-stall racing IndyCar series. This is race number 1, season number 1 here as well. Taking a look at that starting grid once again. Some impressive qualifying times there, if I say so myself.
By the way, season a little bit more than number 1 on that one. Sorry, it's all right.
Season
number 1.
Yeah, it's right. It's season 1 for IndyCar.
Oh, season 1 for IndyCar. You're right on that one. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, because I know that anti-stall racing have been around a while.
Nearly 2 years. Getting on. It'll be 2 years in February. Yeah.
There you go. I'm trying to correct Will already, mate. Apologies.
It is okay. Hey,
Trust me, mate. I got to get through these names, all right? Have you reading some of these names on the grid? It's going to be fun. There's some new ones in there that I'm not aware of.
I'm trying to look at all the syllables and try to sound it out in my head. It's going to be a tough one, but we'll get through it.
All right, so we're going to get ready, of course, because there is the pace car ready to lead the pack away. And so I'll do a rolling start. And, of course, well, we're going to have Barney this time around, of course, again. If you're new to iRacing, Barney's that man that waves that flag all the time. Does a great job. He needs a pay rise.
He definitely
He
does.
really does.
So
action here.
Grebs. Is that Hacken Grebstad? Here, yes, there we go. So that's the Norwegian that will be in the 94 car next to the Frenchman of Benel, Sevilla. No, Favre. Yeah, I'm just having my morning coffee.
Yeah, just a little qualifying, ran an awesome time of 110, went out again, and then just knocked his best time off the top of the grid with his own fastest time once again. So, really trying to make himself known here tonight.
And he's from Norway, my friend. I have a lot of friends from Norway, so you don't mess with them. They're great drivers. Well, in fact, the only thing difference with them is that should be a little bit of snow on the track. Almost let me bring that one down. Oh, Jesus. Kevin, of course, our man behind the league, as you know, Kevin Stamp is in P3, so this is great to see. Kevin getting it done in the IndyCars. He's even got the anti-stall livery on that. That's the orange car you can see there, so you can't miss him. As we get
Definitely not.
to check out some of the other liveries, of course, too. Well, maybe in a bit. So where's the pace car going to come peeling in, I presume, before we get around to the start, finish, straight away? Remember, straight away is here in the United States.
All right, we'll learn some lingo together. It's okay during this broadcast. We'll be all right.
I do like, there's one car livery really sticks out. It's like those pastel colors. I can't remember who that driver is, but that one. Yep, Zach, you've got my livery award already. It's beautiful.
It does. It really does.
I can't believe I guessed which one he was and clicked on him straight away then.
Yeah, you did. You got it. You know, because that was obviously your favourite too, or at least one of the favourites. Yeah, you should give it an award. Look at this. It's the old McLaren livery there as well.
Beautiful.
Too.
Oh, yeah.
And the old Arrows livery. I'm starting to realise a lot of these liveries. Anyway, I think this driver should not be focusing on the livery and be focusing on the corners soon. You get to call it as well, Will. Of course, first time I've casted with you, and you... Oh, the rule of thumb is, my friend, you always cast the start of the races.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As you see, the grid car has pulled off here. We're going to get those tires warmed up here for the drop of the green flag. Where's going to be Hackon is going to lead them to that start-finish line here as we're coming around this last corner. We're going to get things on and popping here in season number 1, race number 1 in the IndyCar series. And it looks like those green lights are about to come on right now, and things are on right now as we're heading down to corner number 1. Clean corner so far. Nothing crazy right now in corner number 1. Everything's just clean so far. Down to the next corner. Zooming around here down into 3 and 4. Keeping it clean so far. Nothing too crazy. No bumping and banging of these beautiful Indy cars here tonight, folks. As we're heading down that long straight there, that back straight, if you will. Right into our second 90 degree right there. Heading down to the next corner. Everything's so clean right now. Looks like a car just lost pace there. Mateo right there. Down in 23rd position.
Let's have a look at Mateo and the replay. I think he's just gone deep, if I'm not mistaken. Snatched a break.
You see... Huh. Nothing too crazy out of Mateo right there. Just may have...
Oh,
got a little sideways there. Yeah, and once you stop these cars completely, it's hard to keep pace once again, but Mateo has now caught that car in front of him. Good way of working back into the race here as we've completed lap number 1 here at the Indy Road Course. Still clean so far, nothing too crazy in the corners. Taking a look at Liam Kerr right there. That's your driver of the night there, Biggles. Liam comes into this race as your favorite. Who else stands out for you on that grid?
Well, obviously the Norwegian driver Hakken in the lead. He's comfortably got that one. It's not easy to start the first race of the season and do it. Unfortunately, his Norwegian friend of Alston has made a mistake somewhere. Let's have a look at the replay. So just as I spoke about Norway, one's moving forward, and unfortunately, Austin's not moving as forward he would like to be. What's happened here?
Yeah, I saw that out of the corner of my screen as well. Hit a car. Ooh,
Yeah.
hard impact there on the wall.
Yeah, that's going to cost him the fast repair at least. Hopefully, if you've used it up before, you're in big trouble now. But that's just snatch it. That's just a little bit of the loud pedal on the car. Said, I'm not agreeing with you right now on those tires.
Oh no, definitely not. He went a little ice skating there. You talked about snow in Norway. He did a little figure skating there on the track.
Exactly. The Norwegians are going to love us, aren't they, when they come back and listen to it later? Well, we're going to love Daniele Piazza and the Italiano as we're watching right now, the number 56 car. A little bit of pressure on him from before. It says old something on the side livery of that. Old what?
Old Dogs.
Old Dogs?
Yeah, Old Dogs Racing.
I'll teach an old dog new tricks. Yeah.
Old Dogs Racing is his racing team.
Yeah. He's got his teammate there too, behind. So in between, of course, they're sandwiching what appears to be... Who is that? That's Kevin in the middle there.
Things are
So
super
can these old dogs teach this young gun a new trick? That'll be the key as well. We'll
That
see.
is the key right now, as we're seeing just a little bit of a separation between these drivers so far. Just keeping it clean here in these first couple of laps. Saw a little bit of a craziness there. A few drivers just hit the brakes just a little bit too hard. Got sideways here as we're taking a look at a replay of what happened here. Taking a look there.
Sorry, that wasn't meant to be a replay.
We're watching the replay of the replay of the replay. Welcome to the Matrix. No. It's good to see. Now, remember, they are on different tires. Okay, so we have the red stripe and the black stripe tires. I really can't remember what they call them in Indy. You can let me know. What were they called again? Just the different tire compounds here for the Firestones.
Right. Yeah, different.
You got the primaries and you got the alternatives.
Primaries and alternative. That's the one I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can see those on screen right now.
Yep. That will make it a difference, of course. I should know this. Lee casts the Indycar series. Of course, he's Australian. He grew up just around the corner from me, literally. So he would be very disappointed right now if he heard my Australian casting without my knowledge of IndyCar. But here it is. At least it's esports and not the real IndyCar for now.
Ooh, a bit of a touchy-feely right there from Tapman right there. Is going to try to make a pass right there. You saw him think about it there on the corner. Definitely has that engaged mode going on right there in that 25 machine. Trying to make a pass right here, following him around the corner. He sees his prey in front of him. He wants to pounce like a predator on the track right now, coming off that last corner.
Yeah, he's got to go for it. You got to use it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. He's got to push to pass, of course. You do have those push to passes to use. That's your DRS, essentially. For those Formula One fans out there, I love the DRS. I love the push to pass more than I love the DRS.
And we can currently see who's using it as well in the telemetry, just so you guys know. So Doriano, we can see who there we go, there he is. Used his push to pass to just edge ahead. And the technical spec on how that works is, I believe it increases your turbo pressure.
Yeah, it would do similar, wouldn't it, to ERS in F1 cars? But and obviously in this case, it's like they got a lot more naturally or aspirated horsepower for US racing than there is in the Formula One, trying to do biofuels and recover energy and all that sort of jazz. Replay count at the moment. I did think it was a lockup from Matteo, wasn't there? Again, not having best of days. Number 43 car.
Oh,
yeah.
I think there was a lockup before the net code. Oh, no.
Right there.
It's out of the corner. Wow.
Almost looked to be the same corner he had the problem on previously there for Matteo. Just sort of locked it up coming off that first corner down to 2 and 3. Just locks it up there trying to make those corners.
Gotta talk to Donkey Kong about that banana he's left somewhere around there.
It's like a real-life Mario Kart here, as we're now seeing this pass taking place here.
It's a push to pass as well, I believe, being used as you would have to, because this is one of the great, obviously, overtaken opportunities. You've got to commit to the inside right now. You're going to go side by side. Last of the late breakers gets it done. Turns it in.
Move.
Yeah, great job. Oh, he's lost a little bit of exit speed. Maybe the angle just threw us off there, but Yep, getting it done there for the Frenchman.
Very clean. Almost got a little sketchy there, right there on those rumble strips, but able to keep it clean there. Now has that pace once again, starting to separate from that car. He just passed there on the track, trying to work up the grid right there, but no change up there in the top 5 so far.
They really do run wide on one of those exits. I'm wondering if they're getting off tracks for that. And of course, you get too many of them, you get penalised. Biggest gainers so far, my Australian, Liam Kerr, of course. He's up in P8. And Robin, the number 5 car, has gained 8 places up into P10, as well as Vanderboss, 8 positions gained for the 72 car running in P12.
Yeah, we just saw Robin there make that pass there, so definitely moving up the grid fast here tonight as we're hitting this front straight right now. Things have been super clean here so far, nothing too crazy, just a few drivers locking up the brakes here, just getting a little sideways. Starting to just feel themselves out here tonight. As we see right now, Hackon has about a 2.5 second lead right there on first place. And we saw it during qualifying, the laps that he was laying down. It's hard to say that he's not going to be the fastest here on the track. As you see right now, he's building up that lead as the laps are ticking down.
Yeah, he's definitely put a pace, of course. Last lap was 112. Yeah, only man in the 112 territory as well. So just having a race of his own at the moment. Perhaps heading to Texas or any of the other tracks, of course, we're going to have this season already, and while everybody's still here in Indianapolis. Hello in the chat. I am reading it. You're welcome to pick on me anytime you want. I'm a little rusty in my puns at the moment, but trust me, I'll get them warmed up soon as the driver's getting warmed up. And this is one. I think it's a little bit unusual, isn't it, my friend? No pace car yet. This is
yeah, it's
IndyCar racing.
It's quite different. In fact, we didn't see any safety car in the IMSA race either. So yeah, it's vastly different so far from previous season.
The boys are behaving themselves.
Exactly.
Well, boys and girls. There might be girls in the grid as well. Too. I don't discriminate. Women can drive a lot quicker than me. See Paulo Lopez in the 88 car, representing Portugal. And yeah, I'm actually he's got the anti-stall on there because remember in the last Formula 1 series, Paulo definitely likes his country flag on his car, and he does obviously have his colours there at Portugal.
Yeah, we got that one specially made for him. I believe Kevin made it. The anti-stall Portuguese livery.
Yeah, it's got only a little bit of problem. He's got a couple of old dogs behind him. So will they be looking? And that's the old dogs, both of the Italianos of Dalino Piazzadan and Dolorino Ricciuti. We'll see if I get those names correctly. Sorry, guys, if I butcher it. I do like pineapple on my pizza.
Right there, have an awesome cockpit point of view right there as Kevin Burrell is trying to get up the grid right now. A fellow American here in the IndyCar road course race, trying to race down that front stretch right now. You see right there what it takes inside these race cars. We'll take an onboard ride with him as he hits this first corner. He's going to get up to gear 6 in that race car. Hits that first corner. You see him shift all the way down into gear 1. Going to ride that thing around the corner here. 2, 3 going in. Going to shift up right there. Shift up again. Gonna ride it around, shift down, coming around the last corner here, and you see what it takes to race these things around here. A lot of thinking, a lot of intricateness that it takes to race these cars around. It's not just beating and banging and passing here as my fellow Americans are used to here across the pond.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. As the old dogs are managing themselves, they could be doing a bit of fuel management. That's also another crucial thing you have to do in IndyCar. Because you have refueling, of course. I got rid of that years ago in Formula 1. So that definitely comes into play, especially because you sometimes are very much gambling on a pace car. So you can get a splash and dash.
Well,
tire changes won't... Jim, go ahead.
Well, we do have a mandatory tire change as well. So
yeah, I figured that with the different tire compounds as you mentioned.
2 guys using push to pass there, both Kevin and Doriano. So it looks like Doriano's trying to defend by using push to pass, and also by gaining the toe on his teammate as well.
This is Polo has to get somehow between these 2 cars.
Oh.
He did not use a push to pass to defend.
No, he relied on the suction of that slipstream.
He might be under a bit of pressure here because he's got these teammates that can now calculate how to and I'd say more than anything, Paul needs to be more worried about is Kevin just in the background there from the United States of America. So it's his home territory here. And this could be the second old dog getting an overtake, committing up the inside. Although is wise to shut the door on that attempt.
Yeah, that took I'm sweating over here watching that move take place on the track. You saw him get a little bit of a wiggle there in the middle of that pack right there. You see him just trying to hold his pace now. Doriano right there is going to try to think about making a pass. He's going to ride around these corners here to that last stretch. Really wants to get past that car in front of him here, just trying to work his way up.
He wants to, of course, so he can get a bit of a tow from his teammate, and unfortunately hasn't paid off for him. Will he use a push to pass you? He will right now. Actually, sorry, Kevin is behind them. So keep an eye for the 52 car because he's going for a yeah, and the door was closed on that one. Oh, keep an eye in the background as well, too. Guess who it is? My Aussie man, Liam.
It's getting crazy up here. We have 4 cars battling for position at the same time right now. The 4th car has lost pace right there. Had to check up just a little bit on that first corner. Things are getting crazy right now. These 4 cars are basically linked one another right now, trying to battle for position on the track.
And Liam, just remember who won the IndyCar Championship, my friend. His name is Will Power. So you have the power of an Aussie, and there's a mistake, unfortunately, from Paulo Lopez. We'll get a replay of that as he just cooked it a little bit too deep into the corner. Now he's got massive pressure, of course, there from the AKA future Will Power, AKA Liam.
You see right here on the replay, so them battling for position there. Ooh, just took it way too wide there on the corner.
That seems to me might be too much focusing on your mirrors and missed his braking point. And that happens, obviously, when you have cars just all around you. You will have spotters helping you out. They have engineers. Yeah, Liam, my friend. Well, Will Power grew up about an hour from me in Australia, from Toowoomba. Let's see. I know Liam is, I think, from Melbourne, but Liam now's going to use a push to pass and see if he can get it done on Paulo.
Yep, that's pretty clean right there. That's a good pass right there on the first corner. Ooh, still going to feel the pressure right there into the second corner, into the third. Still just going to lay it down, keep it clean. And that was pretty textbook right there.
Yeah, so Paulo's just kind of backed off a little bit now, realizing he made a mistake and he's dropped a couple of places, but still in this race, no doubt. He's lost 3. He's coming back, of course. You do not mess with the Portuguese, my friend. They have fighting spirit in them, especially that man. We've seen that in last season in the Formula 1. Always at the top of the timesheets with the Top Guns.
Oh, yeah. And in football as well, you can't count out the Portuguese in football either, as they always come back in their matches here. I remember a few years they beat Brazil, so you cannot keep them down. They are fighters here on the track as well as on the football field as well. As right now, things have not changed at the top of the grid right there. But I was going to ask you here, if you're leading that pack of 4 cars right there, we saw just a little while ago, do you start, as you just mentioned, mirror watching there, do you start to feel that pressure behind you, and do you get a little bit more antsy on the wheel if you know that there's about 3 cars behind you trying to pass, and they're right there behind you?
That's a great question. That's one for the chat out there, guys, if you want to say that, because I've said this before over the years, like, some drivers like to be the ones being chased, and other drivers like to be the ones chasing. So it just depends on how you handle that pressure of cars behind you all the time. So I know some drivers just love it, I don't mind. And other drivers like, if I could be the car always chasing, I'll do that any day of the week, of course, just chase it. And then you only have to overtake just one time. Just one time before the checkered flag. And you got the overtake done, but a little bit more that Paulo has to get done right at the moment. You got 7 cars up the road to overtake.
Really the name of the game here, but right now Hakon just having an easy Sunday morning racing around the track here right now. He's got about almost a 5-second lead there on the rest of the field as we're now on lap 13 of 60 right here. A lot of passing going on behind the leader, but every lap that goes by he just seems to get faster and faster here tonight.
They will, and they're burning off fuel, remember too, so it'll give them some time. So at the moment you can see Silvio obviously, I think the man's driving on a Thrustmaster wheel or something of Next Level Racing, of course, with a sponsorship on it. He's even got a picture of himself in his gear, his livery, his helmet. Make sure you got your helmet on. And at the moment, he has a 1993 McLaren up the road.
And what did they say? You look good, you feel good, you race good here on the track.
He's going to use probably a push to pass. Yes, he will. So he'll give that one a shot. Further back, of course, you can see. Well, there is the overtake right now. The classic turn 1. And it says goodbye to Ayrton Senna. It's not Ayrton Senna, of course. It's Stefan Hoffman.
See if you can keep it clean there in the corner. And as you know, the pass taking place here. Oh, that's tight right there.
Yeah, Frankie had to have good awareness on that. Because if he turned out a little bit too wide, we could have had our first pace car this evening. We're at 14 laps down of 60, looking good. When are we expecting the drivers to come in for their pit stops?
Ooh, that is a wonderful question as well. As this is the first race of the season, we'll speak with our wonderful producer here tonight. What's the window for these drivers here tonight?
All right. Thank you, Ted.
I got the calculators and the pens and pencils, and we'll get that number for you.
Back to you in just a minute down there in the pit lane, Ted. Oh, whoa! He hit the chicane a little bit too much of that one. That's definitely going to cost him a little bit of damage, and your back's not going to be feeling too good in the morning, but he did still manage to keep it pointing in the right direction.
And you saw he lost position, he lost the speed. He didn't lose position, but he did an excellent job of working that car back up the track just a little bit to make sure he throws that block, kind of a seamless block that even though he lost the speed to hold position on the track. That was a wonderful move by him right there.
I know, and he's in pain. For sure. Andy Tupman, and of course, here it is, the best livery I'd say that I've picked today, Zach Amador, the 73 car.
That is a
Pascal
beautiful
colors.
Beautiful there on the track, and great job of driving here tonight as well. He's up to the 13th position right now, trying to move up the grid as well, as it looks like Andy right in front of him to make that move. But I gotta say, man, he's looking good on the track here tonight at Indy. It would be the best thing to have him 4 wide there on the last
Something
lap.
important here. Sorry, guys.
Here comes the Flying Dutchman right now of Kevin. Being overtaken, unfortunately, by the Italiano Old Dog, who's making his way back up through slicing his way through the field there. So that's Daniel, 56 car, 3 places gained now, and Kevin had to yield off on that one. But then again, the push to passes are very similar. They're down to about, give or take, about 8 or so on average of the field. And that's a question too, of course, for Ted down in the pit lane, aka Gerald. If the push to passes do get refreshed per se when they do box or not?
No, they don't. You've got a limited amount of push pass, and once they're gone, they're gone.
All right, well then, yeah, not a lot for a lot of the drivers then. In the cases, for example, not Paulo Lopez, my apologies, Frankie, the Spaniard, in P9, he's down to 6, and down to 4 would be Vanderbos. So that's just 4 push to pass to go for the rest of the race, and not even halfway through the race yet.
It looks like Kevin might be having some issues, actually, because Doriano's about to go get him as well.
That's true. Is this burning too much fuel or trying to take care of his tyres, and this is going to be an overtake for the old dog?
Well, let's look at the tyre compounds. That could give us a bit of a clue there.
Yeah, true. Kevin is on the red stripe tyres.
Yes.
And the primaries for the Italian, who will get the job done.
So it looks like the primaries are coming into use now. As the alternatives are slowing down.
Yeah, because the other Kevin Birrell, is also coming in. But yeah, you know, we've seen Max Verstappen's what the Dutch do. They drive right, and they don't like getting overtaken too often. But I think he's just definitely struggling with his tyres right now, as you'd mentioned. Maybe he got blinded by the orange flares.
Blinded by the light, as they would say.
Yeah, let's see down the main straightaway now. If Kevin, behind him at the moment, the 52 car is going to, well, soon enough, will he line up for a pass? And Kevin Burrell does have 8 push to passes. And he's going to use one now, for sure. He's already used it out of the exit, and this should be pretty easy because you have to break the air. All of a sudden, now your car drops a little bit in speed. That's why I had to have that push to pass boost. And he's also on the primary tire. But the leaders at the moment are it's the 2 leaders, the top one, first and second. They're on the alternative tire, so they're not starting. They're dropping the pace a little bit. Liam's actually, I believe, one of the fastest drivers on the track right now on the primaries. P7.
Yeah. But you see, if you take a look at those two Italians right there in third and fourth position, Eric Keshe and Benoit up there in second. Although Benoit's laying down good lap times, it looks like his lap times are starting to get slower and slower as this race is ticking down. The other Italians are definitely coming. I was watching the lap speeds of Hakkinen also at the top there. He's starting to slow down a bit as well. So if these drivers behind, you can start to kind of reel in the leaders there. We're going to have a battle on our hands here in just a couple laps.
And the leader's just used to push to pass, which is interesting. And there we go. That's because he's pushed to pass because he realized the Frenchman's come in. So Favre is first to the box. He's boxing alone. It looks like it. That's bold and brave. I think I was wondering why Hakkinen was using a push to pass. I'm like, well, you're not overtaking any, my friend. You're leading this race, and I think he's doing it to cover off this pit stop. He's probably thinking about coming in soon.
Yeah, I think 100% is to cover off the pit stop. Obviously, when you pit as a group, it's, in my opinion, it's more of an oval strategy than what these guys will be doing.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah. So you know, we could think very F1 minded, I believe, for the strategies we'll see today.
They don't have those pit crews, unfortunately, to do those 2-point-something second pit stops. Unfortunately, you only have one wheeljack guy, and you have the refueler.
And the windshield
if I'm not
cleaner.
Mistaken, and the windshield. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they only have what 6 or 7, whereas F1 have like 12 or 13. It gets very, very crazy down a pit road, of course, in IndyCar. When you see them all coming at once, it looks very scary and dangerous, but they know how to do it. They throw the wheeljacks too. Remember, they throw them. Mm-hmm. They chuck them, especially on obviously the opposite side to the pit wall. I'm just like, how many wheel guns do they go through per race? Those things, I mean, you know, they're heavy, and they fully chuck it, smashing the concrete. Oh, lock up! Yeah, he's struggling with his tires absolutely right now. For Kevin, they have to come in. I think. Oh, that's not Kevin, of course.
Oh man, very close here, battling it out. They just touched each other there for just a little bit. They got to know each other there on the track just a little bit there on that last corner.
Christmas cards exchanged early. Let's see. Who's coming to town? Santa, who's getting cold in their stocking, or who's getting old? Both of them make mistakes into turn. We do have pit road pretty busy at the moment, so Kevin's gone in, Polo's gone in, Frankie's gone in, Aiden Young's gone in. It's busy, busy, busy down there. Aiden Young, of course, has done some of the casting for us here at Any Store Racing, and he's from the United States of America. He's as patriotic as you are, my friend.
Of course, there, as we're starting to see these pit stops take place here. About 40 laps to go here in race number 1. We spoke about how this is the time to make yourself known. You kind of want to stand out here tonight, and the driver that's standing out the most here tonight is Hakkinen. But as we start to see these laps tick down here before these green flag pit stops took place here, there's no pace car out on the track just yet. The drivers have done a great job of racing clean. That's been the name so far here tonight.
Clean is great. And this, what's amazing is that our race leader, Hakkinen Grebstad, has been using his push to passes a lot in the last couple of laps. He's down to 4. That's 4 for the rest of the race. So he's confident and he has enough gap to go in and out pit lane and resume the lead of the race.
Yeah, I would be too. Those qualifying times that he laid down the fastest track by a full second, stayed out there and said, you know what, I still got time left in the Q session. I'm going to go ahead and try to best my time. And he did. So coming into this race with a lot of confidence, he knows he's the fastest car on the track just by the Q times here tonight. Best his fastest time on the track. So it's really going to be his race to lose here. But a little sideways there.
As Doro goes into the pit lane. There is Hakkinen. He's also in the pit lane, as you'd mentioned, so the race leader's got to get in and out pretty quickly. We'll keep an eye on those pit stop times as well. Because unlike the in Formula 1, just like anything in iRacing, you got to get into your pit area as accurately as possible. Otherwise, it will cost you a little bit of time.
Oh, yeah, I see right now as we're watching these pit stops take place here live on Anti-Stall Racing. We want to appreciate everybody for tuning in here tonight. Great race we have so far on our hands. A lot of movement behind the leaders there for position, but right now these pit stops are going to be the crucial strategy here at the end of the race.
You can do that sounds down there in the pit line. That's where Gerald is. Gerald, how are you looking at the moment? We've got a bunch of cars, and of course we have Hakkinen, we have Vidorio, we have Liam, We have Robin, Van Boss, and Andy all down the pit road. And that's a pretty good pit stop, I'd have to say, for the Norwegian. Should easily... Well, he'll be in the net lead of the race, as we're still... The other 4 drivers that are up the road are yet to box.
Yeah, right now as things are going to reshuffle just a little bit. We're going to see a little bit movement on that grid. Nothing too crazy so far here. We're starting to see those drivers get back out onto the course, get warmed up once again. We're taking down the laps here on lap 22 here. No pace car out on the track so far here tonight. And that's a great thing. That's great to see here in the first race of the season. The drivers were kind of warned about that in the drivers meeting to keep it clean here tonight. Have fun, but be aware of the other drivers on the course.
It's not racing in the USA unless a big crash pile up. That's what motor racing is all about.
Talking of crashes.
Yeah, oh, there. And 2 in the pit road. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, maybe we spoke a little bit too soon about these crashes.
You see right here that 11 machine has been kind of fighting it just a little bit here tonight, and you see just comes into that corner.
Oh.
He has done that before,
Hey,
remember?
but he makes it stylish.
Yeah, he gives us a nice big bang. My friend, if you win a couple of races this season, you get to do them all day long.
Oh yeah, gets a 10 out of 10 for me on that move.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Could go on one of those iRacing highlights as well. Don't forget to submit your clips to the iRacing highlights, and let's get anti-stall racing on the map. We've been featured a few times before in the past, haven't we? As Haken now's got traffic to overtake. Well, of course, there's no blue flags here. That's legitimately gets it done, and the overtakes. Oh, he's into the grass there. No, there's contact. There was definitely contact on the front wheel. And these cars are a little bit tougher than the Formula 1 cars. Didn't you lose an end plate?
Gave him a little nudge on the way out, I suppose, there.
And he should be in the lead of this race in a second because Zach is boxed. And I think Zachary Moore will be the last driver this evening, to pit. So he went pretty deep, I'd have to say, on those boots.
Definitely raced him as hard as he could. Yeah, oh yeah.
That's one thing we got to get back to us about. Still crunching numbers there, Gerald, about the pit stops. I think we kind of answered some of that now the drivers have shown, but fuel and how's that going to pan out?
I think you can make it on the 1 pit stop. I'm not sure if your tyres will make it on the 1 pit stop.
Ooh.
I think
interesting because we got to think we're on lap 25 and pretty much everybody's boxed on both sets of tyres.
So I think you could get a set of primaries. I think if you push them really, really long, you could get a set of primaries to last that long. But no, I think we're going to see 2 stops.
Kevin's gone into the pit road. Sorry, you got to remember the United States are called a little bit different. Here's Stefan Hoffman. On the outside, he is the McLaren livery. I call it the McLaren livery, of course, because it is similar to the old McLaren livery. They don't allow cigarette advertising anymore in motorsports, so we'll have to talk to him about that later.
And we take a look now. Takon is now overtaken for that lead once again, back where he was comfortable before this pit stops took place. We're seeing a few different names up into the mix so far. Of course, we see Liam up there, Kevin Stam up there as well. The Italians are right back where they picked up as well there at the top. You know, right now on lap 25, we're just about to be halfway through here. What are some of the things you're seeing so far here tonight?
Well, good teamwork from the Italians. You mentioned they gained 3 places, so 3rd and 4th for them. I was just checking if they boxed on the same lap. I believe they boxed 1 lap differently between each other. Another key thing is a lot of those push-to-passes are being burnt right now.
Right.
Yeah. So as Leon uses a push-to-pass as we speak of right now, the other Dutch driver, but couldn't quite get the overtake on Aiden Young, the road, just yet. Yeah, that's push-to-passes are very, very interesting because at the moment, Van der Bos is on the alternative strategy, being on the red striped tires, and he's only got 2 push-to-passes left, and that's 2 push-to-passes to go for what? 35 laps? That's,
Yeah.
It's a big spender already, I'd say.
He shot right there out of Leon, too. May have just kind of calculated that pass just a little bit too early there. Thought about making the pass there on that first corner, and with that, just lost a lot of momentum there now. Really has to work back up to that car in front of him.
Can we go on board and just have a look at Van der Bos's perspective as he's got a car up the road? Actually, two of the same liveries of the anti-store racing. Let's have a look, because he's got to look in ahead and behind, as we spoke about before. Definitely taking different racing lines here. Almost contact with the wall. This should be an easy pass. He will use the push to pass, believe it or not, and will go down to one left. Just one remaining for the race. Well, that one definitely counted for sure.
Yeah, but came off that last corner with so much speed there on that front stretch. Take a ride on with Leon here as he hits these first corners here. Yeah, just trying to work that thing around.
It looks good. It doesn't look like he's really fighting it.
No, not at all here as we head down this backstretch here. Down into this 90-degree corner, and you'll see, ladies and gentlemen, you see him in 6th gear right now. Have to shift way forward as I say that.
That's your commentating curse for the day. Welcome along to Anti-Store Racing, my friend. You just cursed. You just cursed him.
You get mesmerized in that machine.
Why is it every time we go on board a car, something like that happens? Is this a tradition here at Anti-Store Racing?
Man, just forgot. He downshifted all the way to one. I guess forgot to turn in there. Watching it delayed here on my screen. Just forgot to turn left there, I suppose.
Yeah, Ed out there is probably in the chat, and Ed, that one was for you too, my friend. Well, I still can't believe it. It's in the iRacing not top 10 highlights that time where Ed. Remember, Ed was talking so much about our where is he at the moment too? He's not on the grid, of course. So, do you remember our driver from? Was it from? I can't remember what country it was.
Vietnam, I believe.
Vietnam, yeah, and he was talking so much about how great he's been and their performances, and all of a sudden he just crashes. I couldn't believe that. Ed, we miss you. The drivers are scared when Ed casts from now on, mate. They're scared every time they do. As Benny at the moment, obviously he's a bit of a Toto Wolff fan. Toto Wolff boxing. I don't know if I'd go 10 rounds against Toto Wolff. He's a pretty tall, mean, and he works out, and he used to be a race driver too, so yeah, no. Benny, you can go rounds of Toto Wolff if you like.
You see right now creeping up towards halfway, about 3 to go into that halfway mark. We're going to take an onboard ride with Benny here as he's going to hit these corners. You see right there, and Biggles, I'll let you take it away before I curse another driver.
No, I don't want you to do it. That's just what I do. We're on board. See, and you can probably confirm this one, Gerald, if some of the drivers are listening. Do you think if they are listening and then all of a sudden they realize the camera's on them, the spotlight's on them, that they actually do make this mistakes because
yeah, I think it's a pressure thing. But obviously these guys don't hear what we say about them until 30 seconds after we've said it as well.
Oh, that's true. That makes it even worse, I'd have to say, because they're kind of expecting something to happen maybe, and then they gotta wait 30 seconds for it to happen, and we see it. Anyway, apologies out there, drivers. Under the that's why we call it the caster curse. It's everywhere, you can't escape it. But one thing the drivers could escape right now is halfway through the race.
Yeah, we're right at that halfway mark here. Lap 29, going to cross that line here at lap 30. Nothing too crazy so far here tonight, because we're seeing a lot of battles for position on the track. No kind of big power-ups. We saw a little love taps going on here throughout the race, but nothing too crazy. It's just been a clean, calm race throughout. But in my opinion, I feel like once these laps start to tick down once again, we saw it there during those pit stops, things started to get a little bit dicey, a little bit hairy there towards those last couple laps on those tires and that fuel tank. And now we're hitting the halfway mark. Do you see any change in pace, or is Hakon just going to cruise on to victory?
He's lapping pretty good times. Yeah, but you're so... just as we spoke about it, there's contact there. Andy, and who is the other car? Of course, the beauty of iRacing is we have multiple replays, multiple angles.
Yeah.
Just as you spoke about the race being a little bit quiet. Oh, that's too deep. Locked
it was two cars. It was two events.
Yeah. That very much have a look, because I think he might have locked a brake up because he saw a spinning car. No, there was contact. There it is.
Oh, yeah, it was contact. Definitely contact there.
And, well, there you go. I'll tell you, I can guarantee you one thing. This race is 10 times more exciting than the last time Formula One cars traveled around Indianapolis.
Definitely. As we take a look here, and one thing I was going to speak about,
More cars as well too, mate. Not just 4 or 5. Anyway, go ahead. This
There's
could
a
be
few
a
cars on the course here tonight, definitely. I think what I've seen so far, though, as we're watching right now, watching Zach here in that 73, we've mentioned his livery here tonight. It's beautiful on the track here as we head down that front stretch here. One thing I've noticed so far, the most difficult aspect about this Indy road course, in my opinion, would have to be turn number 1, 2, and 3 right here. As you're coming off this long stretch right here with so much speed, you have to downshift to make this corner right here, go into another corner, and then whip it around right once again. We've seen a few drivers right there struggle going into that first corner, whether you're trying to make a pass or you're just solo. It's hard to get around those first couple of corners, in my opinion, here in this first part of the track.
You're absolutely correct. And the thing is, too, because they're also looking at defending sometimes. So they're looking at the mirrors, making sure that somebody's trying to not send one up on the inside. And, of course, it's very easy to miss your braking point and lock up. And also the chicanes that you mentioned as well there a little bit further as you go into the other corners after. But once again, my friend, they're just not used to turning left and right. Usually, it's all just right hands around here.
Right, exactly. And I think, too, you get a little mesmerized around the track. You know, you have 2 big, long straights. But then on the second long straight you have there on the backside, you have to go right into a 90-degree corner. We saw it with Leon there trying to hit that 90-degree. You know, you can downshift as much as you like, but if you don't hit that corner, that timing of that turn just right, you're going to go straight. You're going to keep going straight down that stretch and have to whip it back around in the corner.
And the penalty has been given a 10-second post-race time penalty for that accident we just witnessed before between the 25 and 72 car. 72 car of, let me just scroll through the names there real quick. I don't see a 72 car, so unless I'm not reading something correct in the telemetry. Gerald can confirm that.
Yep, working on it now.
Kevin's now using a push to pass, and Liam battling in P5 and P6 as the Italians are working together. And that, if you can just see him on the back straight there, that's in the background is Kevin Stam and Liam Kerr.
Car 25 got the penalty.
Car 25.
Andy Tapman.
Yep. Andy Tapman. Yes, you saw that collision. Well, the stewards don't mess around here. They're just trying to ensure that everybody keeps racing clean, so we don't have to bring that anti-store racing pace car out yet. We don't get to see the anti-store racing pace car, sadly, so far. You can't even see it there because there it is.
There you go, right there.
Yep. Let me take it for a spin after the back into my garage. Actually, no, I'll drive it to your garage, Will, because my garage I'd have to drive all the way down to Panama, and I don't think I'm going to take that. I don't think the pace car could make it, but you can have it if you want, Will.
Oh, definitely. It's a beautiful looking pace car, that's for sure. Looking mean on pit road, ready to come out for a spin. But hasn't had the opportunity to do so yet, folks, as we haven't had anything crazy on the track. We saw a little bit of a mishap there on corner number 1 there. A little bit of contact, but nothing too crazy to bring out that pace car here tonight. I think the drivers are really just trying to get comfortable in those race cars here. Trying to just feel out this season, feel out these other drivers, kind of get to know each other. Of course, we ran that media day race last week, so other drivers have experience with some of these guys here tonight, but some of these drivers might be making their debut races here in race number 1.
Weston, at the moment, Hirschfeld, he's lifting off a little bit. He was thinking about the overtaking and thought, not just yet. I don't need to risk it. We still have plenty of laps to go. Because, well, once again, he'd be very proud of his countryman that's leading this race. There's contact on the wall again. We've seen this a few times, and that's going to scrub some speed away. Now, will Austin take advantage of this? It can go on the outside as well. Continue the racing line. It has been blocked off, but...
Oh, bit too much.
And there it is. You get the power down, and the rear just slips on you.
A bit of an oversteer right there, just got from underneath him, but hey, he's back on the pace right there, right on that left side, trying to make a pass, gonna follow him around the chicane right there to see if he can hold pace right here. He definitely has momentum to get around right there, and you see going down, oh, trying a little give and take right there.
Yeah, this is unusual. Not really good overtaking places there. And he switches back. That's Matteo, of course, he's battling with.
That was super clean there, but also a little gutsy.
Oh, where's he's got in the background? That was I think that's Matteo. Matteo is struggling. I'm not sure if he has a puncher or something, because remember, they did have common contact a couple of times. And the Frenchman now is under a little... But the thing I was a little surprised with is that Matteo had 10 push-to-passes. So he could have probably used one to defend against Alston on that one, but chose not to for now.
Yeah, Austin didn't want to really give up on that position. You saw him there, had to check up a few times. Once he was able to get around, he just said adios as he went by, as we're coming down into corner number 1 right here. Austin's really doing a great job now as these laps are ticking down here. See him with a lot of speed climbing up the grid right there. You see him just outside of the top 10 there on your grid at home, about 19th position right now, but definitely has a lot of speed here in these last couple laps.
He's motivated by the fact that he's other countrymen's leading this race, so gotta represent Norway.
Oh yeah,
as we're seeing right now. Van der Bos, it's always. Please tell me I get that one right there, Gerald. I mean, we have casted him for a couple of seasons now. Should I have his name? All right. I didn't butcher your name this time around, Alaric. But one thing at the moment, Andy is just up the road, and Andy has been, remember, awarded a penalty. So does he choose to use that penalty? Is it added at the end of the race, or you have to serve it?
Added at the end of the race.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we're looking at the rear of Andy's car at the moment, the number 25, currently running a P13, and that's Van der Bos just behind him, seeing through the haze of orange. Dutch Army. Is he gonna? No, it's too far back for an overtake, I'd say here. Yeah, definitely, that'd be a full send. And whoa, that's not actually, he put pressure on Andy, so Andy locked up a little bit, thinking about looking in his mirrors. Just we were looking backwards. And I think Andy wasn't looking forwards, but it ain't over yet. Maybe it will be now. Yeah, couldn't get the power down coming out of the corner. Yeah, I think he might have been doing exactly what we were doing, my friends, by looking at them, looking over back at the car and not forward. Easier said than done. And of course, we're even so popular here at Andy-Style Racing that all the hot tub bots are spamming the channel, so of course ignore all that.
Although our bot did catch it this time, and they should have been removed.
Yep. Hey, if you want, that's a lock up from Matteo. He's definitely struggling right now in his second stint. Yeah, guys, if you want to change on a hot tub stream, just wait a little bit later. Gerald and Will and the drivers will all just jump into a pool later on and celebrate whoever wins this race. At the moment, looking like it'll be Harkin. There's your hot tub stream right there. How's that for a cool down lap?
Yeah. Cooling it down right now, but as I mentioned, Eagles, as these laps are counting down, we're seeing a lot more movement on the track, a lot more drivers starting to battle it out for position here. A lot more battles here taking place, a lot more gutsy moves, if you will. Just saw a little bit of...
Speaking of battles... We'll go to Kevin, of course, in P5, because he's putting pressure, using a push to pass as well to get a good exit out of this corner, because he wants to take one of the old dogs. Kevin's been around the block a few times, my friend, as well. And that's the close... Sorry to cut you off, because that's one of the closest battles we're going to have on track right now, because he's managed to crawl him in.
No worries at all right now, as we're seeing a battle for a top 5 position taking place right now from Kevin Stam. You see he's going to hold speed around these corners. Definitely has him in his sights there as he's trying to creep up through these chicanes up into that long stretch.
I don't know if I'm seeing the same camera angle as you. Actually, I might not be, but I'm just looking at his helmet right now.
Oh, no, we're currently facing forward. I think we have a slightly different camera set on.
Yeah, we do. That's fine. I can still see the expression on his face right now, which is AKA concentration. Yeah, you got to split. But the thing is, you got to split his teammates, because the Italians are working together here. Yeah. So if he does get past, will they kind of like slow him down a little bit and see if they can keep the old Kevster in the middle?
And Kevin really has the speed right here. If he wants to try to split those Italians, now is that opportunity to come around this last corner here to that long stretch there on the front. He'll lose a little bit of speed there on the exit of the last corner, coming down into corner number 1. This is where he thought he had him last time, so we'll see if he holds that same momentum coming down into corner number 1.
These are the crucial crunch time laps you need to do, because it's not easy to gain a lot of time around this track in IndyCar, and every little millisecond makes all the difference. You can see right there, he gains a little bit of speed, but he scrubs it off in certain other corners. He's aware of it because he's been studying now. Dorello.
Got a little bit too gutsy right there. Lost a lot of speed there on that corner.
And it's now up to Kevin to do it. Well, once again. Oh, there's a car actually off there. That might affect his exit speed. Yes, it will. That's Matteo again, you mentioned. But I think that did cost Kevin a little bit of time there. Maybe. It's very difficult, isn't it, when you're trying to focus on your braking point and all of a sudden there's a car coming back on track.
Yeah, and the speed these cars run, you have about a millisecond to try to decide what you want to do there. You want to carry through, or you want to try to check up, some check up there. So right there, holding pace there with, I believe that's Denario right in front of him up there. And you see, still trying to keep him in his sights. It's just hard there. As you mentioned, a few corners you see him with a lot of speed and great exits. Then a few other corners, it's just he's kind of fighting around those corners there.
I think Hakon's preparing for his next pit stop.
I think you're right as well too, because he just burned a couple push to passes. There's a few lockups occurring too, as you can see from the drivers. This means that are we looking at that other situation of the tires starting to fall off the cliff now?
Well, top 13 on primaries.
And you say the fuel could go the whole race after that first pit stop, or? Let's have a look at those pit stop times as well. So on average, I think it was about 10 seconds. So to me, it doesn't look like anybody took any gasoline.
Pit times on screen now.
Yeah, that's no gasoline, I believe. That's a pretty damn quick pit stop, of course, for Indy. That's the actual pit box time, not the overall pit time, but that's the pit box time. And remember, Formula 1 cars do it in about between 2 and 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. And they have a ton of more people.
That's the overall lane time.
Yes, there you go. So that's definitely, give or take, say a minute. So we now know a minute. So if you're going to compare your pace or where the drivers are, gap to leader, a minute's a minute. Yeah. What we're going to do, of course, now is as we get 3/4 of the race, we'll then close off the interior part of the track and we'll just turn it into an oval and just catch the drivers off guard, and they'll have to work on that one, my friend. Then you're really going to see the power of the slipstream.
Oh, yeah. Not seeing much of it here tonight. As it's been kind of as we just talked about, kind of a calm, cool, and collected race so far. Not too much craziness here. We're starting to see more battles ensue here on the grid as these laps are ticking down. And that's really just been Hakon up at the top. We saw him in qualifying lay down those two really, really fast times of 110s and hasn't really let off at all since lap 1.
He had he never left as a racing driver. Greg out there was asking about Andy was behind someone there, that contact. That was an incident before. Well, and here's Andy, of course, speaking, they're back at it, and Vanderboss and Andy. Andy has been issued with a penalty for that. But you got to remember out there, Greg, that the stewards will look at these things in multiple angles and cameras and all sorts of jazz. Plus, they'll take into consideration some other things we don't necessarily see on camera, like if a driver had also been in wars or issues in previous laps and stuff like that you don't always see, and so penalties can also be dispersed because of those previous incidents, perhaps. We don't know. We just trust of the odds here if we race control and now look at things multiple times and multiple events. As we're looking at Vanderboss trying to bring it right now to Andy, the battle for P12.
And this is quite the battle we have right here for the 12th position on that grid. And he's doing a great job of holding on to that position here as we hit this long front stretch here down into corner number 1. But this is where we see the majority of the passes so far here tonight. We'll see if there's a pass taking place here down into the corner. Nothing just yet. Probably just going to wait and see here through the chicane and see if he wants to make that pass there on Andy. But what a job of Andy of holding on to position there, knowing he has a car right there behind him. We talked about that, Biggles, as well here tonight. Do these drivers get nervous with somebody right behind them? Do you want to be the prey? Do you want to be the predator here tonight? we've seen it kind of give and take. We've actually seen a few drivers kind of get a little bit, to use a skateboarding term here in America, a little sketchy, if you will. They're leading the pack or leading the drivers behind him. Right here, as you see, Andy is not giving up that position at all. Knew he was right there. You saw that nose just poke right in the inside of him. Is holding position here, so definitely not seeing that of Andy here.
Sketchy, exactly. That's why there's a skateboard brand of shoes called Skechers. So let's have a look. We got pit lanes, of course. Kevin's in there. Frankie's in. Polo's in. No, it's pit stop time. And you say about being nervous, my friend. I don't even race, and I'm nervous and sweaty. So I can imagine how they feel.
Oh gosh, same thing up here in the booth. I jump up and down for finishes. I get excited on the mic. So if I get excited, I know these drivers are sweating excited inside these race cars here tonight.
See where Kevin comes out.
Yeah, Kevin's going to leave the pits here.
If you come out exactly like this, you got a car there. That's not too bad, I have to say, because you're going to get a nice tow.
Yeah, it's going to be.
We saw that from the race leader too. Race leader, speaking of the race leader, is now in pit lane. So yeah, it is confirmed there from Gerald after he crunched those numbers that it definitely will be a 2 pit stop for everybody, maybe a 3. We don't know.
What I'm wondering now
say 2 at the moment.
is if Kevin manages to get the position on Hakon. I think if he's quick, he might.
Yeah, keep an eye on the dots on there. So the 61 car is Kevin. You'll see that on the track map on the right. Now Harkin is the 94 car. You see him stopped in the pit lane. Right now, he should be exiting in a minute. He's right at the front of the pit lane, of course, because he was in pole position. He will get out. Yeah. Liam is... oh, no. Liam's out. I hope the Australian driver's not having the dingo chewing his cable. No, that's just the... yeah, because Liam's from Australia. Sometimes he will ghost in and out. And how's your pet dingo going there, Liam? Pet wombat.
Right now...
And thank you very much, US Customs, for taking away my jar of Vegemite.
Oh, no.
Not allowing me to bring Vegemite into the United States of America that could be classified as a dangerous weapon. Oh, because you don't like Vegemite doesn't mean I don't. No, I'm only kidding. They have done that before, actually, to me in the past, but not anymore. Pit lane, right? So one of the Italian drivers is boxing. Of course, the alternative strategy, I expect their teammate will come in the next lap. That's what they did last time. And Robin, the Frenchman, is also in from P3. I'll drop, of course, behind the likes of Haken, Benno, Zach, Kevin, Liam, who's made some of those pit stops, of course, for the second time. And that's a question for you out there, Will. Do you like Vegemite?
Vegemite? I'm not even quite sure what that is. So I think
you haven't tried it. So yeah. I know that Gerald likes it, don't you?
I do. I love Vegemite. I could eat it. I could eat it off a spoon.
You don't have many British that say that, my friend, or anybody outside of Australia that ever says that. Is Kevin going to make an overtake? He will. I don't think there's too much of a fight there between the drivers. For one, they know that Kevin's one of the big bosses around the league, so you mess with boss. Yeah, you mess with the ball, you get the horns. That's what they say. Anyway.
Little Ole move there.
Aiden's got some fight in him, of course. So does Toto Wolff. There's Benny. And that's Aiden Young behind him. And you know, Aiden might give us a flash of your lights. You don't have any. If you are listening, I know Aiden might actually be listening to us as well, because, you know, he likes to cast as well for Any Store Racing, and probably is listening. As I said, give us a flash of your lights. Just take your hand off the steering wheel and give us a wave. That's Aiden Young in P12 just behind Benny, running there with the Toto Wolff fighting spirit. So there it is. The other Italian driver's gone on the pits. I expected that. The one lap after. Are they going to come back out where they are together on track? That'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Are they going to make a run at How here
they
at the end?
Wow. Amazing.
Now that is precision or not. Wow. I mean, it kind of reminds me of that Cars movie, isn't it? When you see the Italian driver just sitting there and just sipping on some coffee or something while he's driving. Oh, he was Italian, right? He wasn't French in the Cars movie. I can't remember which one.
No, I think you got it. I think it was Italian. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had all those. Remember, he had those Italian pit crew as well. Obviously, they banged them. They're like, Ferrari. Unfortunately, in IndyCar, there is no Ferrari, guys, so you have to make do with what you have.
And you see, although, the pinpoint pit stops there linking up together out of pit road, now the hard work really begins. Now you have to chase down Benoit up there in the second position and then try to reel in Hackam up there at the top. And I was going to ask you there, Biggles, as we're counting down the laps here, we only got about 25 laps to go here before the end. What's your mindset like as a driver here? Knowing that Hawkins has been leading the race here, the majority of the race, you're really trying to reel him in. Are you trying to just strategize? Are you comfortable where you're at? Or what's your mindset there inside that race car?
It's a good question. Sorry, I muted myself for a second. It's a good question because you always want to win. That's no doubt about it. But there's a risk to it. Like, push you a little bit too far, and that position you currently have at the moment could be dropping, like a 1929 stock exchange. The key is to, I think at this point, it's really up to, Flavier in P2. Sorry if I butchered your name. I don't think you pronounce it like that in French. But he's down the road from Haken. I think Haken's just, at some point, he's got this one. He's not even close enough to put pressure on. I think more for the French driver in P2 is to worry about those Italians that are behind him and be happy with a podium. As we're seeing overtakes with Silviel, the number 11 car, and on we presume a Thrustmaster wheel. And the Italians are going to work together, but are they going to really battle as both Haken and Benno burning their push to passes, which will come into play as well, because remember, we're getting down to crunch time, so any of those push to passes are non-refundable. Zach is boxed from P7. It's going to be whether or not Kevin can catch those Italians. It's Kevin Stam. Liam, I think he's been on the pace with the Dutch driver, but can't quite just reel him in enough. And it's only the first race, and points are points.
No, I'm impressed with that 11. Even though we haven't seen that 11 really race up there in the lead drivers up there, did a great job really battling for position here tonight. We've seen him overtake. We've seen him play defense as well. That 11 had a little mishap as well, got a little sideways, did a little spin there. 10 out of 10 for me, just in the beginning stages of the race. But, right now, inside of the 13th position, just trying to race for the top 10 finish here, I'd say, counting down these laps. Just a really great performance out of the 11, just holding off other drivers here on the course.
And Zach's just boxed.
Something just happened.
Yeah. And that's something that split both of those Italians. Let's have a look at the replay, of course, in a second. Push to passes have been used from our leader now. 0 left.
I actually have to do it manually because it wasn't clocked on my...
It's all right. We'll talk backwards. Yeah, this is interesting because that's always, isn't it, when lap cars come into play. And keep an eye out, obviously, for the McLaren.
Here we go.
I call it. Yep. As McLaren's tried to get out of the way, you can see he's tried to get out of the way, but it is a little bit of a problem. The car still has momentum. And that'll be one to investigate for the stewards. But it's interesting because you can see he's off the racing line. He doesn't want to be a part of this party. And unfortunately, it just didn't get this car stopped in time. And I'll tell you what, right now, if I'm guarantee you that Danilero will be shouting something like in Italian.
Yeah, not the best move there.
I didn't know any Italian curse words, but I guarantee you he just said one.
Right. Would it have been more wise maybe check up before you hit the corner, knowing that those cars are coming up on your left, or was there really nothing he could have done there?
I don't know. I mean, Gerald, you're a race driver. I mean, of course, the stewards are going to investigate that. How do you evaluate that situation?
To me, it's the whole blue flag argument thing. The blue flagger could have slowed down completely and let him go, but at the same time, the blue flagger is still racing, so the leader could have also given him a little bit more space.
And that's it. Yeah, look at this 56 car at the moment. Maybe a little bit of frustration, a little bit of a lockup, and he's trying like mad to catch his teammate. Because they were obviously line and stone right next to each other. You don't want that frustration to creep in, do you, as drivers? You get upset about things that happen on track, but you also see laps after they make these mistakes, and actually getting held up a little bit will be his teammate just up the road there. And I'm saying held up because, once again, go back to that blue flag situation. But once again, drivers are racing. Once again, we're looking obviously at the Thrustmaster car. Just loves the camera today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's not moving over either. He doesn't have to because he's battling crucially, remember, for some points here.
Well, that is because there is multiple Thrustmaster cars. They're all the same team.
Yeah, I mean, the green one that we were looking at before. The number 11.
Yes, this one we're looking at is the
he's picked on
759.
everything. My favourite colour and my favourite number. Here we go. My favourite number's 3, actually. But let's go have a look. And, he's gonna put up a fight, I think. Yeah, he is. He's not yielding. So he's going to say one Italian can pass me. I'm going to see if I'm going to let the second one through.
No, he's fighting for position there. Of course he's not.
Yeah. Because he's just, remember, he's just on P13 at the moment. And I'm the wrong one. You're right. This is actually the driver in P3. Wait, I'm all over the place. Oh, wow, I forgot. We are actually... Jeez, man, the connection to Australia is pretty far away. No, I didn't realize I was in the wrong car. Yeah, this is actually a battle for position. Damn, get me hyped up now. All right, game on.
This is a huge battle taking place right here. See, Benoit Favre has been up here most of the race, holding on to that second position, but has now lost it here on the track. Now he's down to third. Might be the Italians trying to make a run. I feel like they might run out of time.
Up the road as well, too. How's that going to come into play? You can see that battle up the road. They're going to be weaving the course to try to break that slipstream down the straightaway. The only major one you're going to have here, apart from the infield. And look at this. Whoa, this could get very dangerous. That is very bold and brave. He hit the chicane, and therefore he's going to scrub off some speed. They go side by side through here. Can the switchback occur? Oh, you see the rear end sliding out. Yeah, the Frenchman just got the power down there. Look at the way he cut the chicane. Gives him great exit speed here. Now, also keep an eye on the push to passes that they have between them. So, the French driver right now only has 1 left. And the Italian drivers, both of them, have 4 push to passes. So, they could use this to defend right now or not. And with 9 laps to go, no refunds on your push to passes.
Might as well use them while you got them.
Yeah, but will he? Or will he save them? Because this is the time right now. Very soon, you're going to have to do something. Because those laps are going to click by pretty quickly, my friend, because they're down to 8 now.
Yeah, we started to see this kind of taking place as these laps were ticking down.
He's not using it here.
No.
I don't understand why. Oh, because obviously, Benoit only has 1. So that's understandable, but why the Italian drivers are not using any of them? I guess they just want a nice battle on track for us.
Yeah, and with about 8 laps to go here, it looks like this is going to be the battle that we're going to see here to close things out.
Yeah, the traffic lap car at the moment is going to be something in play.
Yeah, as our leader is now stacked a 10-second lead there on second place. So this is really the battle that we're racing for here tonight.
It's definitely going to be spicy, of course, for our first debut race of Indycar, the anti-store racing. And what a race it's been. And I don't think we're going to see that pace car this evening, so you can already pack that one in the back of the jet and get it ready for the next race. Sorry there, Sebastian. That was our pace car driver this evening. You won't get to do any laps in. But now the laps are going to be put in right now will be between these 2 drivers, because once again, they have to get past a lap car. And easier said than done. Push to pass was used now, right there. So he knows to use it on the exit down the main straightaway to get the overtake, and now he has a little bit of a buffer, and that car's actually going to move out of the way, so it's really going to favour the French driver to continue this fight. And he's only got, give or take, 6 laps now, or at least 7 or 6 to continue that fight. And keep an eye on Liam as well. So the Aussie is battling it up there. Right there, using a push to pass at the moment. Didn't quite get the overtake done. And that's on Robin, who's just in front of him. So French are everywhere.
Yeah, the French right now, as you see Liam right there, is really trying to battle for position through the chicanes right now. And you see him right there trying to work that inside. Oh, he's right. He's going to overtake here pretty soon. Oh, what a beautiful move there. Down into the corner. He's going to hold that inside lane.
Trust in your gap, trust in the drivers at that point. Great wheel-to-wheel racing. It's easy to turn in on somebody there.
That was
they
clean.
paid attention in the driver's briefing room earlier.
Clean moving right there from Liam. And
Yes,
Liam's just
honey badger's back, my friend. Yep, we all know about the unfortunate events of Daniel Ricciardo, but I'm calling this right now. I've been calling it for the races I've been casting for a couple of weeks now. Daniel Ricciardo's going to IndyCar.
Ooh.
Mark my words. A year in IndyCar and then maybe back to F1. That man loves the United States. We'll see. Does a Roman Grosjean.
Do we get Jimmy Johnson back in NASCAR?
I don't follow NASCAR, unfortunately, mate. There's too much open wheel racing as it is, but I don't know. That's a good question. If I had time to follow NASCAR, I would. It's fantastic, and apparently it's really, really exciting this season as well, but just too much motorsports and not enough time.
That's exactly true, exactly. And right now, still have that battle taking place right now. This is for about the fifth position right here.
It's bold and brave to go around the outside there. Liam shut the door for now.
Holding off Robin right behind him.
Keep an eye on the push to passes between them as well. So Robin has 4, Liam has 2. So Liam has a couple up his sleeve to use for defending. Will he use any soon? Especially on the exit of the final turn before you go down. The banked elevation. Let's see if test your IndyCar knowledge there, Will. What is the banked elevation of Indy on this... well, not on the main straight, of course, but on the first corners when you do go into it. What is the average bank elevation?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. It's fine. Then I have to worry about that because it's an inside track.
Yeah. As I was going to mention, though, down in the right-hand corner, if you watch the biggest movers right now, Robin's trying to hold on to position, but up 11 spots since the start of this race. So wherever this driver finishes here tonight, whether he's able to overtake Liam for that 6th position, still an awesome race out of that driver here tonight, up 11 spots.
You're absolutely right, because I was really surprised because Liam was, battling up around that, P4 position-ish with Kevin. And, out of nowhere, Robin's just appeared. So I was looking at the pit stop times. They're all pretty straightforward. Robin did box on lap 43.
It's
9
degrees.
42.
9 degrees, by the way.
Oh, there you go. So thank you very much for the walking Wikipedia of knowledge.
Right, that's it.
So they're the 2 battles, of course. And remember, the other Frenchman up the road is still battling the Italians. And that's the thing, too. They're on different tire compounds between Benotto, Flavier, and Danilo, who's on the red strap boots. And, is anybody radioed Harkin and say, mate, there is a race, and everybody's 10 seconds behind you?
I think he's just trying to figure out where he's going to go get dinner tonight after this race, because the way he's raced here tonight, definitely going to do a little celebrating. Qualified first.
You know what I would do if I was a Norwegian? You want to add injury to insults? Take out the 2 Italian drivers if they do finish P3 and P4. Take them out to dinner and buy them pizza with pineapple on it, because we know the Italians love that. That's got to be the way you're gonna rub it into their faces. Oh, I feel so bad, and that's why I keep wondering why every time I try to enter Italy and I keep get rejected.
As we're counting down these laps here, of course, we just talked about how Hakon's gonna basically cruise to victory here tonight by almost about an 11-second lead so far. One of the things that stands out for me, though, looking into next week's race, is these 2 Italians. The way they were able to exit pit road together, the way they worked together throughout tonight's race. They've overtaken for the top 2 positions there on the podium behind our race leader. So really keep an eye out for them the rest of the way here in the season.
You have to, no doubt about it. And speaking of, Benno has his teammate a little bit behind him at the moment. I think it's Silvio. that he can maybe help out his teammate. And he's first of all, he's got to try to get past the Italian up the road. And now it's going to be crucial as to when you're going to time everything absolutely perfect, because you don't have many laps to go to break them up, break that Italian party up, which of course was going to continue all season long for sure. Just to ask our fantastic director out there, Gerald, are there going to be any ovals or it's all road tracks?
Yeah, there's definitely ovals.
All right.
So, let me just get this up for you all.
We printed it and put it on the wall. It's fine. Yeah, you see they're staying off the chicanes now?
Yeah.
Because they get a little bit dangerous when the tyres are scrubbing out a lot more towards the dying stages of the race, and every critical point needs to be perfecto. And I tell you what, the French driver right now we're on board with, the 759 car, knows that he only has 2 laps to get it done and try to disappoint the Italian party up the road.
And that was a bit of an oversteer there. Coming out of that corner, you saw that wheel movement there. He's going to lose just a little bit of speed there. Oh, you saw right there again a little bit of an oversteer.
And he has 1 push to pass left, and he hasn't used it. And 3 push to passes remaining for both of the Italian drivers, so they can cover it off if they need to. But of course, it's very difficult. They both just use push to pass actually together. Wow, they're like Siamese twins, those Italians. You can't just everything they do is exactly the same mostly.
That's it. And as we're about to wrap things up here with 1 lap to go, this is the final lap here in race number 1. Has been the Hack On show here tonight. Basically dominated the race here. We head to Texas Motor Speedway next week here. 130 laps at that speedway. Then Long Beach, Belle Isle, Indianapolis Motor Speedway hit the oval here, so we come back in just a few weeks. Yeah.
Nice.
And
you said Long Beach. Oh, I love that track. Wow.
Yeah.
That's fun, mate. That very tight turn. Not the one that goes around the fountain, but the other one. That really catches everybody off guard. So I'm really looking forward to that. But at the moment, of course, Aiken will be looking forward to seeing Barney waving that checkered flag anytime soon.
Oh, he can probably park on the start-finish line, wait for the rest of the field to catch up, because he has won this race by about almost 11.5 seconds so far here tonight. And what an impressive performance. I know we've kept an eye on a few battles behind him, but I am just blown away by his skill here tonight. He showed it in qualifying. He showed it here on the track. He's going to win tonight's race with ease.
And now he has a big target on his back. Okay, everybody has to chase him down for the championship. And once again, drivers have favorite tracks that they like at other tracks, and they're all burning those push to passes right now because once again, no refunds. Aim Young, I don't know if you got the message. He's got 6 of them left. You can use them, even if you're not actually overtaking anybody. And this could be an overtake right now, of course. Can the Honey Badger of Liam hold off right now? Mr. the Flying Frenchman of Robin.
Big move.
Oh, he's just ahead as he enters the corner.
Oh.
Come on, Liam. Don't let us try you down, my friend. I'm sorry, Robin, but I'm patriotic, okay? I have to support my fellow Australian here.
Ooh, this is
dangerous. And he knew he's gone too deep into it. They're both going to have to lift off, and he's going to scrub the exit speed, and unfortunately, that's my bad, Liam. I owe you a beer.
As Robin's going to maintain this position, they just touched there just a little bit. Okay, Robin's going to hold on to take that 6th spot here tonight. 6th spot there. Liam's going to come home 7th, it looks like there. But here we go. We're going to take a look at our race winner here. And like I said, he could run to the concession stand, get a snack, get a soda, if you will, because he won this by a long margin.
If you were tuned into the anti-store racing in Le Mans, mate, you could have gone through the KFC drive-through to Gerald about that one. But yeah, anyway, it's unfortunate for the Australian driver. But hey, mate, yeah, finally we get to put the camera back on you, obviously to win the race, because that's the only problem when you're all alone at the front. You don't get much camera time. I think he may be camera shy, and that's probably a good idea considering the casting cursing we have. But guess what, my friend? The camera's on you. And those tyres are not refundable. Don't go back into the pit lane. Give us burnouts. Oh, that's a penalty right now. That's a penalty for not giving burnouts. I think he might have already done it. We just missed it. And they're all doing burnouts right now. Yep. It's not going to be a sea of orange flares, of course. It will be a sea of red and blue flares for the Norwegian driver has won the very first race here. The anti-store racing as IndyCar is back, and it's back with a vengeance.
It definitely is, and we'll have you run through those official results once we get them up on the screen.
No, that's your job, my friend. Because even the safety car's doing burnouts right now. Finally, Sebastian gets a few. Don't hit the car. You're supposed to be the safety car. Are we going to see a look at this? They could look at this 3 cars at the moment, but are they going to do a race restart there? Burnout? I don't know. Just restart. Here we go. It's going to be a practice restart. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, he does it! And that is a race start, of course. You do a burnout, but not usually. Now, there you go. And that's a very happy Kevin Stam, of course, that puts on a lot of this fantastic racing as he should be disqualified and takes out the safety car. Wow, why couldn't you guys do this about 20 laps earlier? This would have been a lot of fun to watch. Whoa! All right, there you go. Welcome to Anti-Store Racing, Will.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to give this a go if Gerard wants to help me here. But of course, it was Hackam that comes home with the race win here tonight. Got Denario coming home in second there, one of those Italians we spoke about throughout the race here. Benoit comes home third. Great way to hold on to a podium finish there. You got Kevin Stam, we saw battling there on those last couple laps there, comes home in fourth. Denario, another Italian there. We saw him battling up there with his Italian teammate, if you will. Is going to come home in fifth. We got Robin right there. We saw that battle taking place between him and Liam. Liam's going to come home seventh. Robin's going to come home sixth. We saw Frankie right there. Is going to come home eighth. We saw Benny. We took a look at him throughout the race here tonight. It's going to come home in ninth. Aiden Young's going to come home in 10th. Zach Adamar is going to come home in 11th. Paulo Lopes is going to come home in 12th. The Lazar, the 11th car, we kind of took an eye out here. He's going to drop down into 13th. We saw him just outside of the top 10 there. Cleric Boss is going to come home in 14th. Stefan Holman is going to come home in 15th position. Andy Tapman, we saw him there. Of course, he's going to have that penalty. We saw him that was ensued throughout the race there in that 25 machine. Is going to come home in 16th position. Alex Richardson is going to come home in 17th. Leon just had those early troubles throughout tonight's race, was never really able to recover throughout, and that 77 machine is going to come home in 18th position. Scroll on to the next page and we'll get the rest of this starting grid for you folks at home there. That's our top 18 so far here tonight. We scroll down to about the 19th position. We see Kevin Burrell right there. A fellow American is going to come home in 19th. Mateo is going to come home in 20th. Ostan, we saw him kind of racing up there. A fellow Norwegian. It's going to drop all the way down. It's going to finish 16 laps down here tonight in this debut race. Kevin Simon's going to come home in 22nd. Haynes is going to come home in 23rd. And Ethan Ridgway is going to come home 24th. And of course, we never saw that beautiful pace car hit the track here tonight, driven by Sebastian. But maybe next week at Texas.
We thank you for going for those names, mate. Good job. We did see Kevin hit the pace car right at the end. But what was interesting on this, and I'm not quite sure what's being confirmed here, but Denaleo, the other Italian driver in the 56 car, has been dropped to P5 according to those standings. So what has happened there?
You know what? I'm just going to take a scroll back up the telemetry and see what happened there.
That's got us a little bit tricked on that one, wasn't it? Because they should have been second and third, but we don't know if there was any penalties that haven't been issued.
Yeah, I noticed that as well after those official results came through. The
unofficial
other Italian,
results.
unofficial, dropped down into fifth. So,
he's found the final corner. Apparently, we got the notes there from Kevin. Let's get the replay, of course, right on cue from our fantastic director. This is what's happened. There it is.
Oh, no.
Because we're watching the other battle. Oh, he's just thrown away a podium position after all that work. Obviously, a big smile on the face there for French driver. And a few more Italian words in that cockpit. Well, hopefully we get to speak to some of those drivers, of course.
Yep, working on it.
Yeah, still
Kevin's stoked out there in the chat because not only, mate, by the way, you owe us a pace car. But congratulations on your P4.
Still a top 5, though. Not really where he wanted to finish, though. I know with his Italian teammate up there, he wanted to finish in the top 3. But as we have our race winner here, and take it away, Biggles.
Hakan, if I'm pronouncing your name, Grebstad, congratulations, my friend. Indianapolis is yours.
Hell yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Excellent. Yeah, very, very Scandinavian responses. Cool, calm, and collective, Mr. Iceman. So, yeah, you're obviously clearly the quickest driver on track. Any major issues? Were you a little bit, obviously, the pit stops that you occurred there? I noticed you using a push to passes a lot before you boxed. Do you think that was one of the advantages of you mopping up this race win?
Well, I decided on trying to use a few early on to try and build a gap, and that seemed to work pretty well right off the bat. And then, yeah, I had to, well, I'd say waste a few trying to get past the lap car at one point. He was fighting me for position quite hard. I don't know why, but yeah.
We saw that. That was a very sketchy moment, wasn't it? Entertaining. That's always at play. That was probably one of your highlighted moments, I'd have to say, isn't that, during the race? Because otherwise you're just down the road.
Yeah, I did have a tiny little battle with Benoit. I'm not sure how to pronounce
Benoit.
his name.
We don't know either. Benoit, you go.
But yeah, we had a little coming together as well. I'm not sure if his car was too upset by it, but mine was fine to carry on. Yeah, I noticed he lost a little bit of time. Maybe he did catch me quite a bit after the first stop, so I'm wondering if he short fueled on the first one.
That's a good question. We maybe will be able to speak to him or not, because he did finish in P3. Mate, guess what? You got now change your racing overalls because you have a big target on your back. How do you think you're going to keep this momentum going into the next races?
Well, it all depends on how much preparation I'm going to be able to put into it. To this race, I've done a lot more than I used to anyway. Building the setup and getting it right.
Excellent. Well, you're going to have to come back here a little bit later in the season for just the 4 turns to your right multiple times. So we'll see how you had. And yeah, well, any questions, guys, before we let him go celebrate with his team? And by the way, I want to see more burnouts from you when you win races from now on, okay?
All right, man.
So that's Harkin. Any questions for Harkin before we let him celebrate, guys?
No, I just feel like, once you lay down those qualifying times there, you bested your own speed there in the Q session. Did you feel like coming into this race that not only were you the fastest car on the track, but it was going to be whether or not anybody else could beat you out there?
Yeah, I knew I was going to be up there on pace, but I figured I'd have 1 or 2 that were able to match me, and that was about right. I just I don't know. I think I was a little faster on the colder tires and managed to build a gap early on and kind of just managed that on the worn tires.
With
Thank you very much. No ways back on track. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say with the lead that far out there, I think you had about 11-second or 10-second lead. Did you ever feel yourself kind of losing focus there, or were you just laser focused the entire race?
Well, it's always easy to lose focus when you're out ahead and in such a long race. And around here, you don't really, well, you do get tiny breaks on the straight, but it's no power steering. The steering wheel is shaking down the straight, so yeah, it's pretty tiring and yeah, fatigue definitely plays a part.
Gotcha.
Well, one thing that played a part this evening for the first race of the season was a Norwegian on the top of the timesheets, on the top of the championship, and celebrating his race win around Indianapolis. Of course, more racing always will occur here at Annie Store Racing, as we're going to head our way down to the Big South. Of course, everything's bigger and better in Texas. So perhaps we'll see if Haken can continue his big, better and better racing. There you go. I'm going to fumble my words. But anyway, that's it from me. Mr. Dean Biggles, and thank you very much, Will, for your fantastic casting, mate. It's good to be back in the United States of America, of course, with you,
yes,
and our fantastic producer of Gerald. Would you like to wrap it up, my friend?
Yeah, sure. So, as usual, I'd like to thank everybody for coming to watch, and also thank all of the racers for putting on a rather stunning race as well, with no safety cars. Even though I'd love to see that safety car, thank you for not causing one. And other than that, we'll see you next, tomorrow, hopefully, actually, for our starting of our touring car series. Yeah, it's the same time tomorrow for touring car, and then again on Friday for IMSA, which was fantastic this past Friday. So hope to see you all there all over again. Other than that, this has been Anti-Stall Racing, and we hope to see you next time.